Marvin Mike was just 10 years old when he was sent here to the Florida School for Boys in Okeechobee. His crime? Skipping class.
I don't think them guys was human. These people beat me and treated me like I was a pure dog. I wasn't no kid. I was a dog.
It was the sister campus of the notorious State Reform School in Marianna, where scientists are now uncovering children's in unmarked graves. The same staff members accused of brutal beatings at Marianna also worked at the school in Okeechobee.
Now you gonna find some bodies in Okeechobee.
Marvin remembers a small building they called the Adjustment Center, with a small cot against the wall.
Some of the guys, they would just beat and beat and beat and beat till they passed out.
Located in Central Florida is the sister campus of one of the most controversial reform schools in the state of Florida. Opened in 1955, the Okeechobee School for Boys sat on a 205-acre campus. It was used as a secondary facility when the now infamous Arthur Dozier School for Boys became overcrowded. Around 6 years ago, we were able to visit the main campus in Marianna. Today, we investigate the Okeechobee campus. So this would have been one of the halfway houses that these young boys would have stayed in when they improved their behavior. I'm being extremely quiet because there's people mowing part of the lawn, so I don't know how long I've got. Look at this right here. What on earth? Kid looks unconscious. That's crazy. Unfortunately, some of the evil that was happening at the Arthur Dozier School for Boys was passed on to the Okeechobee campus. You would have had some storage closets over here. A secondary entrance. All empty here. I just heard a loud bang to the left of me, so I'm being very careful not to get caught. Shortly after the secondary campus was open, rumors of abuse and neglect began to surface. Off of here, you would have had a couple bedrooms. Like somebody that was homeless was staying here. And then you have another bedroom over here. With a bathroom. Similar to the Arthur Dozier campus, many of the staff at Okeechobee would abuse and neglect the inmates. This would have been the living room where they would have eaten. There's a trailer over there. That's 100% the trailer. They're coming back and forth for work. I'm currently hiding in the brush, hoping they don't see me. I can hear noises all around. I probably should enter from a different area. At this point in my explore, the weather was about 96 degrees out, and I had just failed my first attempt at exploring this place. I'm not done, guys. I'm gonna see if I can find another way around, because I want to make sure I get this place and film it. Alright, I'm heading back to my car now. I'm not giving up yet. At least I'm gonna get some drone shots and then maybe find a different way in from the back. Later in the day, I regrouped and found another way to enter the campus, this time a little bit less seen from the workers. So after about an hour of waiting, I have re-entered the abandoned prison. I don't know if this is going to be a fail, but I do see another car So I waited for the other workers to leave, but I do see a car in the back of the building, so I've got to be extremely careful what I'm doing. First signs of civilization since I've really gotten back here. I've got a light post here. Okay, so we've got another sort of halfway house here. Let's see if I can get into this one very carefully. So I've entered, I don't know what this room would have been. It's almost like an event room for the young juveniles to stay at. I've got to be careful because the truck that I saw was over there. But yeah, this almost looks like a sort of tiki hut. So I don't know what this room would have been used for. Interesting. It's a good size. Some of the bedrooms they would have used. Wow. It's definitely a little bit different look than the other building. What? Also, within the first couple of years of this campus being opened, there began to become reports of a couple of the boys passing away under suspicious circumstances. Here's the kitchen. Decent oven. Whoa. It's a good sized spider. It was a good sized spider there. I just saw another worker drive right past me. It's wild, they're still here. They keep on driving back and forth on that road over there. So mission is not getting seen. As the workers kept on driving by me on the road, my mission was simple. Make it in the next couple buildings. Okay, so I'm into another building. This one has severe decay. I gotta be careful. You keep on driving back and forth on that road. Wow. Oh my word. The ceiling's completely caving in. They have all the stuff from the juveniles that have stayed here. Over the next several years, 8 boys were reported to have passed away at this campus. To add more controversy to this, the reports were said to be accidental or justifiable. There's so many halfway houses here. It's crazy just the condition this place is in. It's only been abandoned since 2020. There's some of the buildings over there. Okay. Check this one out. This one even has ferns growing through here. Look at this decay. The boys of this prison were often subject to hard labor, and oftentimes they would run away. Some of the neighbors in this area recounted how many of the boys who escaped would often be begging not to be returned to this place. I don't know for sure, but they might have cows. Had cows in this little area, roaming. That is pretty cool. I began to slowly make my way to the back of the campus to see what I could find there. So I've come to other buildings here. I do not know what these ones were. These might have been individual cells. Take a look in here and see what we can see. This looks like it might have been either an individual room or a room for a couple people, like 1 or 2 people. I don't know, so if you ever stayed here, let us know, or you know the history behind this, let us know what this room was. Give you a glimpse to here. There was a bathroom in that room right there. I'm not going in here because I don't want to be on that side because it's wide open and everybody can see you. Right over there is the main security section. I have no idea if there's anybody still here. Coming around the corner. Get lost in the woods for a second. A truck just drove behind that building right there. I don't know if that means they're done for the day. What I do know is I've got to be very careful. That building right there, he drove right around that corner. Water tower. Luckily, after about 15 minutes, the truck left, leaving my coast clear. A little basketball court that they would use. Even though the passing of the boys were some of the more extreme things that happened on this campus, there was still more to come. Okay, behind me is the road that I've been dodging. They may have left. I don't know for sure. I'm just being careful. There's the water tower. I don't know what this part would have been. This probably would have been the maintenance. Yeah, I believe this would have been where they had maintenance. Here. Cheers. This would have been where I believe the power, water, and stuff like that was cleaned. Wow. The staff at this campus would sometimes pit the boys against each other in fist fights for their own entertainment. I'm definitely running out of time. I've got maybe an hour of sun left. So I'm going to be very careful because my car is currently parked in an area that closes its gates around sundown. So look at the size of that. I don't know what that would have been. An oil tank? A water tank? That's massive though. So you're seeing the inside at least of the operations of this prison. Wow. For all y'all industrial fans, this is wild. Such a huge campus. I just got to be very careful because I'm here alone, so don't want to get in any trouble and I don't want to get hurt. This is crazy how big this place is. We got a little office area right here. This would have run all the water for this area. That's a violent fall right there. You would not want to go through that. This led to an extremely toxic and inhumane environment. I wonder what this was. Pressure monitor. Empty. Wonder if the phone is still attached. Among the staff arranged fighting. They would also sometimes lock the boys up for weeks on end in isolation. This is the max security section right here. It's crazy. I'm not gonna go in there because it's closed, but see if I can find anything else. Okay, I know that they're gonna be controlling this area at any given time. Barbed wire around these buildings right here. You got buildings all around. You got a basketball hoop in the maximum bird's-in area. Not much there. What I will do is I'll go into here, get a really quick film of this. Wonder what this building would have been back in the day. Almost looks like a classroom sort of building. This is actually the counselor's building. Look at the age of this computer. Unfortunately, due to this being the sister campus of the Arthur Dozier School for Boys, many of this abuse was underreported. I do wonder if there's anything interesting over here. I don't know. After years of these atrocities going on, in 2020, this campus was finally closed for good. I'm probably not going to be able to make it inside this fence. I am being careful, you know. So if there's a car that drives by, I am screwed. I just hope that there's nobody here. A few years before the closure was made final, some former students and activists convinced the town to send cadaver dogs to search for anybody remaining on the campus. The local sheriff would later announce that they found no remains on this campus from unmarked graves. This left a lot of the former students angry as they thought the search was inadequate. They thought the state did not look soon enough or simply not hard enough. Here's one of the office buildings right here. I'm not going all the way back there, that's sketchy. Locked. As of today, this old campus is in limbo and abandoned still. Fortunately, the gate was closed, so I could not see the gym or anything like that. This is brand new. I'm not touching that. So this would have been what remains of one of the offices here. That's crazy. So that's gonna pretty much do it for this explore. I didn't get into any of the buildings within the walls just because there was workers, and it's a little bit later into the night. That was one of my toughest explores, simply for the fact that every single corner I turned there seemed to be a worker, so I had to dodge 4 or 5 workers throughout the day and their trucks. This is a really sad place. I'm gonna go into detail. I've been covering the details over voiceover because that gives me the time and the ability to be able to properly, as best as I can, give you the most accurate history on the place. In 2024, a bill was passed by the Florida Senate giving compensation of $20 million to some of the victims of abuse and neglect at this campus. This amounted to around $20,000 and some change for eligible survivors. Considering the lifetime of trauma some of these boys faced as a result of this campus, this $20,000 does not seem simply adequate. The Arthur Dozier and Okeechobee School for Boys is a dark spot on Florida's past, and it's up to us to not forget these boys' legacy. With that being said, I will wrap up my video for today. Take care and have a good rest of your day.